Hi there, dance studio owners. My name's Olivia Mode-Cater, and I'm the Director of Strategic Initiatives here at the Dance Studio Owners Association. And I hope you're ready for something huge here on the Transform My Dance Studio podcast. Introducing DSOAces, a mini-series featuring the world's leading coaches from the DSOA's Inner Circle, exclusively sharing their expertise with you. Imagine having industry aces in marketing, finance, retention, daytime revenue, and more right in your pocket. Learn their secrets, triumphs, and challenges to transform your studio into a thriving business. Join me this June and July as I pick their brains with your most pressing dance studio questions. From groundbreaking marketing to boosting profitability, we'll cover it all. If you're hungry for even more guidance and personalized support, we invite you to join the Inner Circle waitlist. By joining, you'll get exclusive access to these DSOAces, working closely with our team of coaches and experts to elevate your studio's success. The Inner Circle offers a community of like-minded dance studio owners, mentorship from industry experts, and insider strategies you won't find anywhere else. Don't miss this opportunity to take your studio to the next level. Join the waitlist today at DSOA.com/join. Hi, everybody. I am delighted to introduce to you this week's special guest and Inner Circle expert, Julie Kay Stallcup. Julie Kay is a nationally recognized leader in dance education, having given out sold-out seminars and keynote speeches at dance teacher conferences across the country. She co-founded Revolution Dance Center, where she fostered high-quality dance training and mentorship with integrity and compassion. Julie Kay has won the Favorite Convention Teacher Award at the Industry Dance Awards and is certified in teaching special needs children through Rhythm Works integrative dance method. She has performed as a Las Vegas showgirl, magician's assistant, and with various dance teams and artists, including Maluma at the Latin American Music Awards. Julie Kay is dedicated to community service and giving back, whether through local projects or international efforts like traveling to Haiti. Julie Kay, welcome to the podcast.
Woohoo! Let's do it.
So excited to have you and sharing your journey and insights with us. So let's kick off. Let's jump right in head first. Can you share with us your journey in opening Revolution Dance Center? What motivated you to create it? And why did you take the approach that you did?
Well, I was blessed enough. Thank you very much for having me, by the way. I was blessed to have the most amazing dance teacher, actually just the teachers that grounded me. But there's one teacher that stuck out to me the most, and her name's Karen Harrod. And I'm actually now teach with her at the same dance studio, which is pretty amazing. And I get to dance with her daughter, actually, and teach her daughter as well. But it's so fun. So I knew that after watching her, my mom was older, and she couldn't stay up that late. And so I wanted to stay at dance late. And so my dance teacher was like, I'll just bring her home. So on those late nights, me watching her wrap up the studio, just kind of have that life, I was very observant at 12, 13 years old. And I was like, that's exactly what I want to do. But I want to dance professional. I wanted to get away from Little Rock because it's such a small town. So I went to Branson, Missouri, where I danced for a magician's assistant. And then we went to, I went to Vegas, and then I met my husband. Actually, I met my husband in Branson, and then we moved to Vegas, and then we moved to LA, and I was dancing professional on a basketball team. And I found a business card at a local gas station. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to call him. Like, why not? Right. And she was like, can you sub today? And I was like, sure. Never interviewed me, didn't know if I was on Dateline, Forensic Files, like none of it. Like she was like, can you come in now? And it's so funny now that I'm 44 and I've done it all, I probably would do the same thing. Oh my gosh, I'm in a stress moment. Can you help me? So, and then it was 25 kids to 75 kids to 125 kids to 200 kids. And then it was like, okay, I want to do this. And then I went in with a couple of business partners and did some different stuff. And, the dance studio journey, owner of it, I just wanted to replicate exactly what my dance teacher did, because she gave me something that no one has ever given me. My mom and dad obviously paid for me to go, but she planted a seed inside of me that was magical, that not a lot of people understand or want to take on. So we're the magic seeds in the garden. And then what we do is we plant seeds around there, hoping that other people just get to enjoy a full garden of beautiful flowers and all kinds of things, right? And of course, there's some weeds. It's okay.
Yes.
Along the way, but ultimately I wanted to bloom and blossom in different ways. And so, during COVID, I actually ended up, closing I sold the studio to two men who I love with all my heart. And I still call them, I'm like, hey, don't make this mistake. Oh my gosh, now that I'm on the other side and I'm working for a lady in Little Rock, I'm like, oh, I see so many things that I didn't see when I owned the studio, because it's like, you honestly, like, you're looking at a kaleidoscope and you're seeing all these things. And sometimes you have to take that kaleidoscope down from seeing all of the things to step back to seeing the actual big picture of it versus like tunnel vision.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It really helps that perspective.
Oh, it does. And so I think that with Miss Karen's, guidance, my mom's, wanting me to do this, and, hey, all I really want her to ever learn is confidence. That's what she told the old lady at Studio One in Sherwood, Arkansas. I'm signing her up because I want her to have confidence. Well, bless my mother's soul. She's in heaven, both my mom and daddy. But the best thing that ever happened is my confidence from dance. I think it's the thing that has made me the human that I am, that people are drawn to me because of my confidence and my aura. But that came from my mom and my dance teacher, you know what I mean? And my family supporting me through all this. So it's never something braggy or anything like that. It's like, that's something that's like my shield. That's my suit, my hero suit, right? My superhero suit.
Yeah.
So I'm blessed to be able to do this. And I loved it. I got to train huge celebrities. I've gotten to do some amazing things, but ultimately at the end of the day, I think my favorite thing after selling the studio was the gift of giving them a different life. You know what I mean? They're going to live with a different purpose. That's better. A different purpose, because they're going to be like, you know what? My time management's better because of my dance teacher. Quick changes. My organizational skills are better because she made me follow a spreadsheet or a timeline. You know what I mean? So those are the things that I love the most. Now that I've stepped back and I look at people soaring on Facebook and I'm like, I planted that.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so many life skills that people learn through dance. And it's funny, you even said your upbringing and just having that extra exposure and seeing that person do that work day in and day out, and the love, not only that they, your studio owner put into the classes, but in the cleaning of it, in the organizing of it, all that love and attention, it really affects you. And I mean, look where it's taken you. It's absolutely incredible that those acts that we think are unseen as studio owners are actually making such an impact on so many people.
And I think the best part about it was I never wanted to go to college, ever. I wanted to go dance professionally right away. All of my friends supported me. They never even thought anything about it. And now they're like, the craziest thing about you, Julie Kay, is you did exactly what you said you were going to do. And I'm like, there was no backup plan.
Yeah.
That was what I wanted
that was
to
it.
do. That was it. But you know what? It's the gift that keeps giving, because I'm on a wonderful faculty called Ellie Dance Magic. Jackie Slight took called me and said, hey, you want to do this thing? And I'm like, oh, I'm going to smash this. We're going to build this mini program up, and we're going to build this teacher program up. So like, I get to give the gift now to teachers of the things, and I don't call them mistakes. I call them lessons, because everything is a lesson in life. Mm-hmm. And so I get to give all of these lessons to these teachers and these kids and mentor, that it's like, you know what? That was the version of me when I was in my 20s of performing, and my late 20s of really diving in deep of owning a studio, and then my 30s. And now I'm in my 40s, and I'm like, Lord, I am just beginning. I scare myself. I tell myself all the time, it's only just begun.
I love it.
I'm like, let's do it. Let's do it.
It's amazing. And I love that you kind of touched upon it, and you're now, continuing that impact. You are sharing your knowledge with other teachers. You're allowing them to learn from you, your methodologies, your voice in teaching, and allowing them to make it their own. And you've been nationally recognized. You've won so many incredible awards for dance education. You're truly a pioneer and a visionary. What makes your perspective of dance education different? And what do you bring to other teachers as you mentor them through that?
Ooh, I just got tears.
Oh,
No. And the reason is because I use, if I cry, just ignore me. I think the thing that I've realized the most about me in this version of who I am is what sets me apart. I used to be kind of ashamed to say it, or what if people thought that I was all that? I'm like, no, I am going to share that to you. Why I am different. I am so relatable. I've been in so many, I share real life stories. There's nothing fake about me.
Mhm.
I will call you. If a dance teacher messages me and I'm on the toilet peeing, I'm going to answer.
Yeah.
If I'm cooking spaghetti, I'm going to answer. I know that sounds crazy and people are like,
yeah.
but that's to your mind. No, it's not, because you know what? I will tell you.
Mhm.
I will tell you wholeheartedly. And now that I'm actually a certified life coach, I feel that my coaching, I love to listen, but I want to guide you. I want to coach you, because if you call me, and I know this, if you call me, you want the truth. You want me to hold you accountable, right? I'm not going to preach at you. Let's do it together.
Yeah.
And I think it's what sets me apart. Actually, the number one thing that sets me apart is my energy, my zest for life.
Mm-hmm.
That is when my dad died when I was a senior in high school, he was laying there and we were at his visitation, and I said, I'm going to finish what you couldn't finish. I'm going to make you so freaking proud, Dad. I'm looking at him and I'm by myself. Nothing was going on around, no smell, no noises. It was like a standstill in life that I was like, I'm going to finish because you were the most driven person. And then when my mom died, I walked in there and I was like, hey, look, I'm going to finish what you didn't start, or what you couldn't finish, right? And that was her heart. She wanted to give so much. And so I was like, boom, I went to Haiti. You know what I mean? So it's like one of those things where it's like, I take what my mom and dad gave me, and I was like, those are my roots. And now I am a full tree with different branches. My leaves fall off. They come back better. And sometimes all the leaves are off and I'm a little bit like, my ultimate, and I've said this since the day I started teaching dance, hold the vision, trust the process. So whenever the tree is like dead and it's, you don't think it's going to come back to life, it will. I just have to do that soul searching. Mm-hmm. So, and I share with people when I'm at my lowest as well. And I think that that's relatable. Absolutely. I've been through so many things in my life. So I'm relatable. And I just love people. I love talking about hard things.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. I always find that the teachers who have been through the trenches and become teachers themselves and coaches are the people that I learn the most from, because when you teach from a place of experience, it's so different. Like you're saying, like it's relatable. You know, not only like the steps that they're going through, but emotionally what they're feeling. And that is such a powerful place to teach other people from. And I agree with you. I think it oozes out of you that experience, that legacy you're leaving behind, that work you're continuing to do. It's so inspiring to watch you just be you.
Oh, thank you. I'm really proud of this version of myself. It's not that I'm not proud of some of the other versions. I was just going through a rough patch, but the rough patch is what's made me damn good.
Yeah. Yeah. It is those moments.
Really good.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't look at those as defeats. I'm like, oh, honey, I'm trailing, but I'm going to cross that finish line. You better believe it, honey. I'm going to throw my hands up. I'm going to sing some kind of song. I don't know what it's going to be. It'll have to be a Celine Dion song, but
absolutely.
Maybe I'm alive. I'm alive. Bam.
Well, we need to, right? I mean, like, it's like those moments are, and sometimes as I face a new hard situation, I think to myself, I've already faced so much that's hard. And so it's like exercising that muscle too of resilience, that like I've risen from the ashes once, I can do it again and again and again and do it faster and stronger and better. And so that's important for studio owners. I think that that's such a key thing, because the peaks are so amazing. The highs of owning a business are so incredible. And then the lows, you learn so much from and find those peaks again. So it's absolutely incredible. Now, speaking of mentoring other people, guiding others, for a lot of studio owners, they struggle to find the right faculty members, whether it's the teachers, whether it's their administrators, or they find people that are just there for the short term. What advice do you have to studio owners trying to build up the right people or find the right people for their business?
Oh, this is the best question because I'm kind of in the thick of this. Teachers are like, Julie Kay, I can't get them to stay. What's happening? So here's the thing. I just did this amazing mentorship with, his name's Rob Dial, and he's the mindset mentor on Spotify, and he's great. I did a 12-week course. It was great. And as I did it, I mean, I learned some things. Of course, I learned a lot, but there's some things that like stuck out because he's all business. It's nothing about dance. And I realized, I think that the thing that if I had to go back and I had to give my advice for is not interviewing everybody one-on-one. Think about it. We're in the dance business. So I had to translate what he did to the dance world. So we're in the dance business. Great. You know what it's called? It's called a cattle call. Mm-hmm. Right? So you know what I mean? It's called a cattle call. It's just the dance business. So say you do 3 a year. Okay. And maybe it's every 3 months. And you say, you know what, I'm going to do open interviews, or I'm going to do interviews on this day, right? And they think it's going to be a closed interview. But ultimately, you're going to have to fight for your spot. And that's when you're going to see the people that are driven or the people that are just kind of like there for the party. Mm-hmm. You see what I mean? Yeah. So let's think about this. If I'm like not auditioning you, if I'm interviewing you, Olivia, then I'm going to go, okay, is she taking notes? She's not taking notes. She's on the phone. That's not a callback. That's maybe a sub. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So basically what it is it's like, okay, perfect. So do you have any videos of you teaching? Okay, you don't have those. You're not prepared. Do you have a playlist ready for me to listen to? You don't have that. Do you see what I mean? Like yes. You basically set this up for success and you're like, perfect. What is your go-to song for a 3 and 4-year-old? I would never talk to I made this huge mistake of going, okay, so who have you danced for? Where have you taught? Yada, yada, yada. Boom. What is the go-to song if your class is out of control and you're in a 3 and 4-year-old class? If they say the Macarena, I'm like, no.
Right.
You know, like I you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, okay, so perfect. You want to go to popcorn? Oh, you're on my level, right? You want to play the Goldfish song? Happy and you know it? Okay, got it. What is your behavioral issue? Like, how do you handle a 13-year-old child that maybe is suicidal? I don't know. Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
Because then what that's going to do, you get you get everybody and you kind of talk to them about, their process. Do you have a timeline written out? Yeah, actually I have a timeline. I have 4 timelines. You know what I mean? Like you're going to see it right away of who's been invested, who has background and who doesn't. Then you do the callback from there.
I love that.
Right?
I love that.
And seriously, like when I was watching the course that he did, I was like this. None of it related to what I just said, but that's I got it. I had to unscrew some screws and go, oh, I got it. I would hire people completely different. But then, you know what? The people that I thought were mediocre, or I was like, okay, they're kind of there. That might be my sub-emergency list. And you know what? I would pay them for the training. And I would have them thrown in occasionally just to see if maybe they had a bad day that day, or maybe they got that spark to go, I need a playlist. I need a timeline. I need to have videos of me. If somebody came up to me right now and said, hey, Julie Kay, I want to hire you for the biggest preschool event ever known to man. Do you have anything? Absolutely. I have about 17 videos that you can watch of me right now. Okay. That's more prepared, right? Or I would say, okay, you know what? Would you like for me to perform them for you? I have 3 of them. Do you see what I mean? Like that pump, that excitement, that urge to work. Mm-hmm. Or the kid that's the young kid that wants the job, but they're like fiddling with their fingernails. You know what I mean? And not paying attention. So you're going to see the vibe of that right there, and that's what I would do differently.
That is brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant, because a seasoned teacher knows the thing that they need and they can jump into it. They could whip up a lesson plan for you in 30 seconds and they have it, and it's in their brain, it's in their body. Like you're saying, all those little like pieces. Do you have that video of you? Do you have the songs? all that is, you're right. It's so telling. It's a quick way to see the red flags or not.
Of course. And then the callback, right? I would say, okay, I know you're young. You might only have 1 year under your belt. Great. Are you coachable? Mm-hmm. That's the question I would say. Ask, are you coachable? Well, I don't know what coachable is. If I give you a task, are you going to be able to do it? Not halfway, not abbreviated. I want the full word, the full sentence, the full essay. You see what I mean? Like, I don't want any abbreviations, and I don't want a question mark for the punctuation. When I'm judging, I'm like this. That was that's abbreviated. Why would you do that? Tell me the full story. So that's kind of where I would say, and I would also ask, I would be like, okay, are you thinking 1 year, a 2-year plan, or a 3-year plan? If they say a 1-year plan, I will suck everything I've got out of them for that year. Because you know what? That year, maybe 6 months, I'm going to find another teacher. Because what used to, we'd be like, oh, 1-year people, we can't even deal with them. Absolutely, you can. Because you know what? They can fill in on pop-up classes. They can be your sub. They can take over for a maternity leave. Like, don't think small like that. Think, you know what? Great. I'm going to suck everything I got out of them because they're good. And you know what? They might have another friend coming up that I can take for the next year. You know what I mean? And in your policies, you need to put, we have some teachers that are here for only a year, some for 2 and 3 years. So we are so excited to have all different varieties of teachers on our faculty instead of thinking, oh my God, we're going to look bad if they leave. No, it was a journey. It was great. I don't know.
I love that because I feel like right now dance teachers or studio owners with dance teachers are like, I just need a warm body. I'll just get anyone in there. And then they don't ask these questions to understand the expectations of who they're hiring and how long they think they're going to be in it. And it is an interview, right? And you have to look at each other to see if it's a match. And then if you know, like you're saying, if you know it's just a year, perfect. You have your expectations. You know what you need to do. You can still use them. You can still, have them be an incredible teacher, but you just also in your mind can set up a plan.
Right.
That's such a different perspective and mindset about the hiring process.
And then here's what happens is that if an owner will call me crying, I can't believe they did this to me. And I'll say, on a scale from 1 to 10, how honest do you want me to be with you? They always say 10. It's your fault for allowing it to happen. Where was your onboarding? Mm-hmm. Where was your teacher check-in? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And you know what? I've done it. It's been my fault. But ultimately, shame on you once, but if you fool me once, fool me twice. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right. That's right.
There's red flags, but the problem is you're lazy and you don't want to face it.
Right. And the thing is too, Gen Z, they have this saying that like everyone is the main character of their own story. And that is true. And if you don't understand what that person you're hiring is viewing this job as in their story, of course, you're going to be shocked when they leave. So like a question I always like to ask is, how does this role fit into your vision of your life?
Yeah.
You'll learn so much from that, whether it's going to be short-term or long-term. And then you can play into it. Like if they're saying, I'm just doing this job because I'm looking to audition in the day, you're going to go, oh, okay. As soon as this person gets a job, they're going to leave, right? They're going to, yeah. So, but they're really good. So let me support them in doing that so I can fill that spot as long as possible. So I agree with you. It's knowing those things that are going to make the difference.
And also we make the huge mistake when we own a studio that when we hire them, they're going to be our best friend.
Yep.
They are an employee. And if I had to tell my 20-year-old self that whenever I started that studio, they're an employee. They came to make money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Think about it. And that's not a bad thing.
No.
It's not a bad thing. It's separation.
Yeah.
So we're owners, we're passionate. Oh my God, I'm in the floor. I'm depressed. What happened? You got too close. Don't do it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's business.
Yeah, exactly. And those boundaries are important. And Yeah.
But you know what? It's business at the studio. And then when you come home and you're out to drinks with your girlfriends or whatnot, you're like, we're not going to talk about dance. Let's be friends, because that's the problem. When they start to blend, then it gets ugly and your friendship doesn't last, because then you know what? It's fueled by the employee aspect of it.
Yeah.
When you get in trouble,
Yeah.
or when things get sticky, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's talk about the reverse, the students, the flip side to it. So, I mean, I've seen you teach, I've watched so many of your videos online, and your class just seems like the most student-centered, fun, engaging place to be. Is that part of your strategy in terms of building a loyal customer base and getting kids to come back? Or what else do you do in your class that helps kids just love it and just, of course, I'm going to sign up again. Of course, I'm going to stay.
Because they're not necessarily there in the beginning to be Baryshnikov.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Not forget that. And you know what? Some people are like, I just have to train the very best. Okay, great. You know what? My students ask for every Tuesday. I have a 4:00 class that's 30 minutes of tap. Then the next one is 30 minutes of hip hop. And then the last one is 30 minutes of musical theater. They wait for that musical theater class because I open that class with some sort of funny story of my life. And they literally run. They sit down. They want to hear when the pigeon pooped on my head. They want to hear when my son, I thought he was missing and he was in the kitchen eating a whole pan of brownies. They want to hear when I peed my pants when I was judging because I was laughing so hard. That is the like, they're like, she's just so fun. Mm-hmm. And then I'll look at them and like when we're warming up, I use fun music and I'll start screaming. I'm like, woo, how we feeling? Nobody. All right, we're going to turn the music off and we're not going to dance. They're like, no, we want the music on. I'm like, then you've got to have a party with me. I think of every single class as an invitation. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So here we go. You can invite somebody to a party, but you don't have to open the front door. There's those teachers.
Yeah.
Then there's people that open the door and look at you. Then there's the teachers that will open the door and go, come in. And then they're in the back corner and they never get talked to because this kid's more important. They're the star student. Mm-hmm. Or there's the teacher that opens the door and says, let's dance. And it's a footloose party. That's my class. Mm-hmm. Because ultimately, yes, I want to train great kids. I want to train great dancers. But my goal in life, and I've said it forever, is that if that kid gets in the car and says, Mom, I can't wait to go back, I freaking have done my job.
Absolutely.
Train good dancers. But here's the thing. If they're a recreational kid and they're taking an hour and a half, if I've got them to get their shuffle step for the year, shuffle ball change, and I've done my curriculum, it's up to them if they've got the fire. Mm-hmm. But they got to have a good coach to play the game.
Absolutely.
And some of them are going to sit outside the game. And some of them are going to play that game hard. That's all right. Intertwine them. But everybody has to be invited to the party. And we can't have people sitting outside. We just can't. So mm-hmm. that's what mine is.
I love it. And it's so important because I love this quote. There's this quote by Eric Booth that's like 80% of what you teach is who you are. And so you don't even have to say, oh, I prefer the star kids over the rec kids. Right. I prefer the pre-professional versus the professional. Your actions, your tone of voice, your body language, where you stand in the room, all of that's going to give it away anyways.
I intertwine them in the back row and they're like, we can't see you. I'm like, too bad. Figure it out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They're going to know what your values are.
The motto that Jackie Slide has taught us since, I've been on her faculty for 7 years is happy to be here, easy to work with. Mm-hmm. I'm happy to be here and I'm easy to work with. So I ask my students, are you happy to be here? And I'm like, then be easy to work with for right now.
Love that.
On that. Happy to be here, easy to work with. Or if I can just tell and I'm like, okay, I do two kind of different approaches. On a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, where are you? If I know I have some 4s, I'm like, is it school? Is it mom? Here's the thing. Leave it here. Let's go party. And then you can face it after. but they're going to leave happier.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing, that student check-in makes them realize, I got them. You know what I mean? Like, you're a 4, I'm going to get you to a 6. We don't have to be a 10.
Mm-hmm.
It's not reasonable right now.
Right. Right.
It's not doable. I can't do it right now. I can't do that 0 to 90. I got, or whatever it is. I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
0 to 60, whatever that phrase is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to make it doable for you, but we got to be on the same wavelength. And I always do this. And it's so funny because some of them will go, I'm like, oh, okay. I like that fire.
Yeah.
Right. Some of them are like, and I was like, we'll work on it. Let's be Lucille Balls. We don't need any more Kim Kardashians.
That's right. That's right. Oh my gosh. I love it. Yeah. And just asking them, how are you on a scale, just even asking the question again, just says so much about you, your values, what the emphasis is. And the emphasis is them. They're here. They've shown up. And that interchange of energy is so important, because if you're putting yourself out there and just focusing the class on them and their growth, they're going to over time begin to trust you, and then they're going to meet you halfway, and then it's going to be like you're saying, further than halfway, where they're like, I'm watching you too,
And that's the thing, is then I use that same technique, the 1 through 10 across the floor. So when teachers are going bot miles across the floor, bot miles, and you're clapping, and you go, great. Okay, if you keep saying great, they're going to think they're Rudolph Nureyev.
Mm-hmm.
But now when my kids get down there, they look at me and I'll do this. They're like, what? If you're below a 5, go back and try to get that 6. Because 5 and below means that you really don't want to be here and you just don't really want to try.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they go again and I give them a 7, that is dopamine. That's like, that's that electrifying, oh, I'm worthy of this. She saw potential in me. Mm-hmm. Then it rises. If you clap and they just go by, they're like, why am I not in level 7? You never told me I need, you see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Use that same energy and use that same that method.
Yeah. And the honest feedback is so crucial, because then when you say something good, they know you mean it. And then where you're like, oh, that wasn't your best, they know you're calling them out in like a loving, positive, supportive way. And I love that number thing. That is genius. It's so simple, easy to do.
It's a life coaching method, because sometimes there's people that are not, they don't want to be so verbal. And the introverts, it's really good for the introverts.
Yes.
And then the extroverts are like, I'm a 12. And I'm like, okay.
Okay. No, yeah, that's so genius.
I use that bridesmaids where she keeps going, well, and thank you. And then the other person goes, thank you. I'm like, no, I'm better. I'm a 12. I'm 13. No, I'm 14. And then I go back and forth. I'm like, just be a 10 and get in there.
Just go back. Do it again.
Stop trying to outdo me.
I love it. That's amazing. As we've been moving kind of this industry forward, what do you think are some of the upcoming trends that studio owners can expect? What do you think we're going to see more of, less of? How can they stay on the ball, be ahead of the game? Where do you see us heading?
In a completely different direction than we were raised. And you know what? Some people aren't ready for it. Mm-hmm. We're heading into a direction of children with so many different learning differences that if we don't educate these teachers now on how to handle ADHD, ADD, autism, depression, we're going to lose them. Mm-hmm. So relatable in so many, it's such a loaded and amazing question, because that's why I listen to so many podcasts. That's why I get certified in so many things, and I'm taking courses, because I realized I was not a good listener, and I want to listen to kids more now than ever. And then I take what that is, and then I drive the dance class in that direction. You know what I mean? If everybody's kind of low, then I'm driving it. I'm going to put full speed ahead with, you know what? Today is not going to be a good dance day. So it's going to be affirmation after affirmation. Olivia, you know what? I know you can do this. Right now you're blocking it. There's a tornado. I want to see just a little spark of sun coming out of the cloud. That's all, you know what I mean? So the trends right now for me is teaching them how to come out of that. There's another trend right now that in the competitive world that it is drill teams and dance teams in high school are taking over dance studios. It's a problem right now and people are freaking out. Why? Add a drill team class in your studio.
Yeah.
And you know what? Call it drills. And you know what? Maybe for cheerleading, it's going to be leaps. It's going to be, chants, cheers. Get a coach in there, help them with it. And here's the thing. If they think that they have to split because they want to be involved in school right now because it's cool and they get to go to the games and they get to have those experiences, all our games is recital, competitions. Mm-hmm. They get to go to Friday Night Lights. They get to wear a cute cheerleading costume. They get to see all their friends. You see what I mean? We're not, it's a different thing right now. And I can see it happening. I can see it happening in competition. I'm like, these are cheerleaders. Yep. These are kids that are, you know what I mean? And I don't judge them down for it. I'm like, oh, because I feel like what we need to do in dance competitions is add the drill team factor to it. Yep. Hands down. You know what I mean? I see that trend. I see a lot of Firebirds. Like that's the biggest jump of the year. Like a Firebird.
Yes.
Jump, oh my God. It's like taking almost like, oh, and then it's now gymnastics, of course. So if you don't have gymnastics in your studio, you're really falling behind, mm-hmm. or at least teaming up with someone in your area that if you send me this students, I get a cut of it.
Right. Right.
Become good friends with them and say, you know what? Hey, can you make an open class for me? I'll send these kids over, we can split the cost and then you come over. You see what I mean? Like there's different ways, but you've got to become best friends with these coaches at these schools. And let's work together on the schedules. So then it's not like, well, I have to quit dance now on Wednesdays because that's the only, you know what I mean? No, let's work it together. I mean, that would be my biggest thing right now is working with the choir departments, because, vocally, like for musical theater, the theater departments, work with them. I think that should be something that's in our future that we really didn't think about a lot, and during COVID, we were just like, oh my God, we can do an outdoor theater.
Right.
Oh my God. You know what I mean? Like we got really, really creative and now we're like, nope, don't ever want to do that again. No, we have to think COVID mm-hmm. because that's where we came up with things that we thought we never could do. And that's the problem. They're like, nope, don't want to, I don't ever want to wear a mask again. But you know what? An outdoor picnic performance is not a bad idea.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Why do you think people in the middle of New York are like trying to gather people around and get money? Mm-hmm. Do it.
Yeah.
Go do it. Put buckets out and say, we're raising money. We're going to do a picnic performance. Invite everybody you can. Put a bucket out there. See how much change and money you get to go to Dance the Magic or something like that. Mm-hmm. Think outside the box. Let's go. Yeah. But it's up to them. We can't just be that turtle that just goes back in. I'm like, oh, absolutely not.
No,
so I don't think that was a good answer, but
no, it was. I love the wide variety of things that you're noticing. And for me, I'm seeing all the same things. I think Clint talks about this a lot, and a lot of the other studio growth coaches talk about this a lot. Your competition is not just the studio down the road. It's really all the activities kids can do and they have access to. But I love your perspective on it. Collaborate with them. What new things can you come up with them? How can you share those kids? How can you allow them to do both? Because it's true. Sometimes they miss on those high school. I missed out. I remember this. I missed out on my senior year trip because I had rehearsal. I don't even know what they did, but I just remember that I missed my a moment that was supposed to be a once in a lifetime thing because I had rehearsal.
And the fact is that we sacrifice so much. So when they get 14 or 15, they're like, I'm burned.
Yeah.
I'm done. Yeah. And you know what? So here's the thing. If we're smart and, I don't know when this is going to air, but let's think about in May at the end of the year, then those new classes come out, those new pop-up classes that are going to collaborate with a cheer coach and y'all are going to come in together, right? Like think of things like that. Think about adding a 30-minute add-on class And that means that the local coach comes over from the school and they're getting benefits from this as well. Private lessons, that's money in their pockets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. That collaboration piece can be the start of something incredible.
Stop thinking of it as a threat.
Exactly.
Think of it as a team, because isn't that what we preach? Go back to it.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Well, Julie Kay, we're going to wrap up. This has been an incredible conversation. I have so many golden nuggets, takeaways, things. Is there any final piece of advice that you want to share with studio owners out there as they're kind of wrapping up this season, heading into the next one? Any final takeaways for them?
Make sure that you have that plan. What is your plan? And here's the thing. I mean, and I say this all the time. If there's no plan, if the plan is in your head, it's not going to work. You know what? Get that rhythm calendar done. Sit down, have a team vision meeting with your team. What did you like about this year? What did you not like about this year? Listen to your teachers. Listen to your families. Ask for feedback. Go back to the drawing board. After recital, take a week off. Then go back to the drawing board and go, these are some of the new things that all of my amazing teammates, families, and the community has asked for. And I can't wait to see what our new future holds.
Ooh, got goosebumps. I love it. I love it. That's so true. And I love your leadership, and you live by example, which is such an incredible thing for studio owners to see you and your journey. So I want to thank you so much for sharing your insights, your enthusiasm, your energy, all the things that make Julie Kay. So thanks for being you and for joining me today.
And always remember to spread a little dose of joy somewhere where you go.
Thanks for joining us for today's episode of DSOAces on the Transform My Dance Studio podcast. We hope you found inspiration and valuable insights from our amazing industry experts and inner circle coaches. If you're craving for even more guidance, resources, and support, make sure to join the Inner Circle waitlist today at DSOA.com/join. See you next week.